We have two different stacks for you in week 2 to help you win a lot of cash on DraftKings. Now, here's the thing. We won you cash in week 1. Stay tuned for the whole video so that you get not just one stack, but two stacks that you can lean into to win that cash Sunday. Welcome back to Touchdowns, Tapouts, and Triple Plays. And I'm Joe Pepe. I helped you win money week 1. Now my job is to help you win money week 2. And we're going to get right into it. We're going to go to the Bengals-Ravens game. And here is a game that sits at 46.5 points. And that's what we want to do. Watch a video from last week, from week 1. I'll explain that tip a little more. But we want to target games with 45 to 50 point over-unders. Now, the big game is Kansas City and Jacksonville, but we're going to let the group play that. We're going to let the field play that. We're going to build some leverage here in a game because recency bias is going to kick in when it comes to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and our third player. So stay tuned to hear who we're bringing this back with. So here's the thing. Everyone's saying like, oh, Joe Burrow, he had a terrible week 1. Like, he's not good. Like, and he's coming off the injury. It's rust. Rust happens. He needs the preseason. He needed that. He didn't look great. It was a rainy, wet game. We throw that out. We don't need that. We don't have to worry about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this game. We're going to see Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase playing an aggressive Baltimore Ravens defense, which means when they're aggressive, you can beat them over the top. You can get big plays as long as you play it well. And hey, guess what? The Baltimore Ravens are missing their starting cornerback and Marlon Humphreys, presumably, most likely going to be out of the game. But they are absolutely missing Marcus Williams, their safety. That's important when you're facing a guy like Jamar Chase, who is just bigger than everybody else. He's over 6 feet tall. He weighs more than 220 pounds. He is a monster of a wide receiver, and that's who you want to chase anyway, let alone being in a good game script with a decent pace of play that's going to happen because this defense is aggressive and playing with their JV squad in the defensive back room. Jamar Chase torches people even when it's celebrity superstar cornerbacks and you're over here giving him backups, JV squad players, people that should be in band camp practice. No, I'm not worried about that. And because of the recency bias, everyone's going to fade off of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow more than usual, and we're going to build leverage on that. And by building that leverage, we're going to build up the stack, but we are building our stack with a bring back and somebody from Baltimore because that's where I'm at on vacation right now. And the bring back, as you can see below, Justice Hill. That's a very important bring back because a lot of people are going to lean into Zay Flowers for justified reasons. He had the most red zone targets last week. They were manipulating the game to make sure he got targets. But again, let's build leverage. And we're going to build leverage with J.K. Dobbins here because he's injured. And he's our leverage piece without being in the game. It's beautiful because when J.K. Dobbins is injured, we can look into this backfield to save some money. So who are we saving it? Justice Hill again, pointing right here on the screen so you can see it scrolling by. We're going to go to Justice Hill because you could go Melvin Gordon, but that's a waste of money. You could go Gus Edwards, but he's an older and he's a bruiser back. He doesn't provide what I want in a full PPR site like DraftKings. What Justice Hill can provide is that pass catching ability to get that full PPR. And here's the thing. Justice Hill last week, there we go. Justice Hill played on 31.7% of the snaps, and he scored 2 touchdowns on that. Now, he didn't have any crazy stats because like the game was screwed up with J.K. Dobbins getting injured. But Todd Monken is somebody who likes to throw to the running back, who likes to throw the ball in general. And with J.K. Dobbins being out, again, he is the key to bringing in Justice Hill because without J.K. Dobbins, they're not going to run as much. They're going to lean heavier into the pass. And with that, you take out guys like Melvin Gordon, who is just way over his prime. And with that passing game, you take out a little bit of Gus Edwards because that's not his game. That's not what he does. That's not who he is. And now you're left with Justice Hill, a good explosive back with pass catching abilities on a great offense in a game with a good over-under total. And that's why we have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justice Hill as our first stack to make a ton of money this week. Now, thank you for coming. And remember, if you can, subscribe to this video, but we're still going to go and don't leave yet. We got another stack for you. If you're not feeling that Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justice Hill stack, you should, but you always want to make more than one lineup. So who should you do your second lineup with? Well, we're going to do Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Derrick Henry from the Chargers and from the Titans game. Here's my thing. Justin Herbert and Mike Williams, they were on here last week. They won us some money. If we would have went to 2, we would have won a ton of money. But we can't look back. We can only look forward and look at the process and see that we had it right. We have an aggressive play caller in Kellen Moore, who's there with Justin Herbert now. So the A dot's going to get pushed up a little bit. We have a guy like Mike Williams who is healthy right now, and the process works. Over 6 feet, over 220 pounds, has the ability to boom bust. And we're trying to win the slate. We're not trying to come in 30th. We're trying to win. So we're going to head back to the well here against the Titans defense that allowed Rashid Shaheed to have the third most air yards. Rashid Shaheed, good player, not great player, not Mike Williams level, great. So Rashid Shaheed had the third most air yards. Chris Olave burned them for over 100 yards. They cannot stop the pass, the Titans. They're very good against the run, but they cannot stop the pass, and especially over the top. That deep ball is something they love to do. And if Derrick Carr, we're going to talk about Derrick Henry in a second. If Derek Carr can blow past you with the deep ball, imagine what Justin Herbert's going to do in a fast-paced offense that has an aggressive play caller, that has a healthy Mike Williams. A lot of people will be on Keenan Allen. We're going to build some leverage here by going to Mike Williams. That's the goal. That's the play there. How do we bring this back? Well, Derrick Henry. How could you be mad at it? Here's the thing. A lot of people are going to be very upset with Derrick Henry because, in the beginning of the game, he was splitting a lot of carries with Tyjae Spears. But Tyjae Spears has a really bad knee. Tyjae Spears has another lower body injury on top of it right now. So he's dealing with injuries. And you know what the Chargers are not good at? Not good at all? Run defense. It's just the worst I've seen. And their linebackers might be the worst in the NFL, in my opinion. So this is the game where you play the king. You play King Henry, and you get those yards. And Tannehill looked terrible. His wide receivers are injured. DeAndre Hopkins might not even play. You know what that states for this game slate? Running the ball nonstop with Derrick Henry. This could be one of those 150-yard, 2-touchdown games, and you don't want to miss out on it. And right now, Derrick Henry, last that we were able to check for the roster ship percentages, he's under 15%, and I think that's wild. We're going to get a chance to get him. And then on the other side, we're going to have the Chargers with Justin Herbert and Mike Williams. Oh, yeah, by the way, the Chargers don't have Austin Eckler, so there's no more dink and dunks now. There's none of that's going to go there. Those passes have to go somewhere else, and they're going to fly outside to Quentin Johnston and Mike Williams. And I want Mike Williams because I've seen him do it in the NFL. We talked about the size. We talked about the athleticism last week. He is a very good player when healthy, and he's very boom or bust, but we're trying to win that slate, and that's the type of player we want. So remember, your second stack is Justin Herbert plus Mike Williams plus Derrick Henry. And then your first stack is Joe Burrow plus Jamar Chase plus Justice Hill. And here's the thing. Regardless of the quarterback you have, you could put both of these wide receivers in here. You could put, let's just say, Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase, Mike Williams, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, build around that. Or vice versa and go Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Justice Hill, Derrick Henry. You can use majority of the players talked about today to build your lineup. And then after that, you just have to hit certain things like hitting Luke Musgrave, who is a must play this week. Trust me, it's a little extra tidbit there. Luke Musgrave, with all of these players, I guarantee you're going to cash in week 2, and we're going to be up a lot of money by the end of Sunday.